Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about 5 reasons why you may be clingy and needy while dating or in a relationship. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some ways you could reduce being clingy and needy in a relationship or while dating. So, clinginess while dating or being in a relationship looks like calling and texting constantly, repeatedly throughout the day. You're calling and you're texting, trying to communicate often, too often. And then you're panicking when they don't respond fast enough. You're worrying what they're doing. You're thinking that they're ignoring you. You're thinking that they're cheating on you. And all these thoughts start coming into your mind, panicking. Then you might start stalking them on social media, trying to see what they're up to, looking at their stories. Or when you're in the relationship, you keep trying to seek reassurance for their feelings for you. You always want to know how they feel about you, if they love you, if they still like you, where is this going? And in dating, you might start to talk about love. You might express love too early and start talking about marriage and kids when it's way too early. And you might want to always be invited to go out with them. And when you're clingy and needy, you forget about your own life and you focus on them. That's how clingy and being needy looks like in a relationship or when you're dating. So, where does clinginess come from? Where does neediness come from? And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you may be clingy and needy in a relationship or when you're just dating. So, the first reason why you may be clingy is because you have or you had a toxic mother-daughter relationship. And some characteristics of a toxic mother could be, first, could be she constantly criticized you. You feel like nothing is never good enough for her or even for yourself. She judges everything in your life. She judges your job, your friends, who you're dating, how you spend your money, the places you go. And she's very disapproving of anything you want to do or even who you are. Another characteristic could be she's dismissive. She belittles you, does not validate your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. When you have negative emotions, she doesn't pay attention to you. She minimizes your problems. You might express a situation to her that is bothering you, and she might say, well, this person, they have it worse than you. Why are you complaining? And minimize your problems, right? She could criticize you for being unhappy. Maybe you're unhappy, you're sad, and you're angry, and you're upset, and you're expressing anger. Maybe you have been treated badly, and then she tells you how to feel, or tells you that you should not be feeling that way. And all of that is like you're not receiving the love that you need, the attention that you need, and you're not understood. So that's dismissive. And then you start feeling unworthy of attention. You doubt yourself and you just have this intense longing for love and attention. When you're dismissed constantly, you have this longing for love and attention. And that's how you become clingy and needy. Another characteristic of a toxic mother could be she's a control freak. She micromanages you. Refuse to acknowledge your choices, your decisions, your opinions. And this instills a sense of insecurity within you. You feel helpless because Every time you come up with an idea or an opinion, she refuses to acknowledge that or to validate that, and you feel inadequate. You feel like you cannot be trusted to make good judgment and to make good decisions because she's controlling everything, all your decisions, planning everything for you. And then you feel like you're going to fail without her because you're never allowed to be independent and make your own decision and create your own identity. And when you don't follow, maybe you disobey, she tries to control you and you try to get your own way, then she makes you feel guilty and responsible for when she behaves bad to you. So being a control freak is a toxic characteristic. Another toxic characteristic of your mother is she humiliates you in front of family and friends constantly, and you feel shame and belittled and like you're not good enough because you feel like you can't get anything right. Another characteristic that of toxic mothers, they are passive aggressive. They delay your event, they cancel your event when you do something wrong. They might pick you up late just for to spite you because they're angry with you. They might give you silent treatment. They just might act upset for no reason. You're not even sure what you did wrong, but she's upset. That's passive aggressive. Another characteristic of a toxic mother would be they just lack empathy constantly. Or you could just say they're narcissistic. You have a narcissistic mother. When we talk about that, it's like they're only concerned about the outward appearance and the opinions of others and what others will think of you and the family. And your connection is surface level, it's superficial connection. And your mother look great in society. She's optimistic, she's charming, she's attractive, she have a great job. But then that confuses you because that's not the same mother that you know. You feel isolated and confused about your mother because she lacks empathy for you, but on the outside she's amazing to the world in her career. And she has all these talents, but with you it's superficial connection. Right? Another toxic characteristic would be emotionally unavailable. Emotionally unavailable. She didn't hug you often, didn't kiss you often, didn't comfort you when you feel sad and angry and upset. Didn't help you manage emotions. When you show that you're angry and you're upset and frustrated, she was unresponsive. And then you feel abandoned. You feel abandoned and she's right there in your presence. And that is how neediness and clinginess are created. And all of this make you feel insecure. Right? Now, before I move on, I must say that it is not your fault that your mother is toxic. And it is normal for parents to make these mistakes. But if it's constantly criticizing you, always unavailable, always lack empathy, always humiliates you, or always passive aggressive, then it becomes toxic. You cannot change your mother. You can only work on yourself and set some boundaries so you would have less pain and feel less hurt. Right? Now, this video is not to demonize mothers. It's not to make you hate your mother. I am not saying your mother is a bad person. I'm not saying that your mother does not love you. This video is not saying that. If your mother have any of these characteristics, it doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. She probably have unresolved trauma of her own from childhood, right? So, moving on. The second reason why you might be clingy and needy while dating or in a relationship is because you have low self-esteem. You feel insecure about your own self, about your own life. And you have this strong need for attention and validation, and you doubt yourself so much. And when you have low self-esteem, it's like you also have this fear of people abandoning you and leaving you. All because of what we just talked about, of what happened in childhood with your mother and the toxic relationship you and your mother have that created low self-esteem. The third reason why you are clingy and needy while dating or in a relationship is because you have been abandoned in the past a lot. Your friends, your family probably abandoned you. Or in romantic relationship, you were left, you were dumped, maybe for someone else. Maybe you got cheated on, right? And all these past experiences, it traumatized you, and now you have this deep-seated distrust in people because you think that everybody's gonna leave you and abandon you. And sometimes there's situations that is just, sometimes it's just difficult situations where your parent might have to leave to work. Your parent died, you still feel abandoned. Your parent got divorced, separate, break up your family, and you feel abandoned. Or maybe your parent went to jail and you would feel abandoned for all of this. So it's sometimes situations that we can't control, but we still will feel abandoned, right? If we're in a romantic relationship and the person left us for someone else, cheat on us, lie to us, abandon us, and you constantly have these experiences, you would become clingy and needy, right? Fourth reason why you are clingy and needy in relationships and while dating is because you have developed generalized anxiety, right? You probably need proper, you probably will need to be diagnosed with this, but I'm just throwing it out there. When you have generalized anxiety, you have this excessive, exaggerated anxiety. You worry every day about everything for no reason. You worry about your work, you worry about school, you worry about your family, you worry about money, you worry about everything. You worry about your health constantly. And why you might have this, maybe it's in your genetics, or maybe it's environmental factors. The stressful events that you had to deal with growing up. Maybe you were abused. Maybe someone died, it's the same thing. Someone died in your family, you were abused, your parents were divorced, somebody changed their job, somebody lost their job, and you have to deal with all these stressful events, and it created trauma. And all of that would contribute to generalized anxiety, right? Fifth reason why you might be clingy and needy in relationships and dating is because you have an anxious attachment styles. So attachment styles are ways we interact with each other, how we behave in relationships, how we bond, how we relate to people. That is our attachment style. So there are 4 types of attachment styles. There's secure attachment, anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and fearful avoidant attachment. Now, everybody should strive to be secure, strive to have a secure attachment style. A secure attachment style is when you could trust others and you could also be trusted. You could give love and you could receive love and you could get close to persons easily. You're not afraid of intimacy and you don't panic. If your partner needs time or they need space away from you, you don't panic and think they abandon you or they don't want you or they don't love you. You understand that they need space and time and you give them and you're comfortable and you feel secure, right? You are able to depend on others without fully depending or totally depending on them. That's how a secure attachment look. Now, if you are clingy and needy while dating or in a romantic relationship, you probably have an anxious attachment style. And when you have an anxious attachment style, which is created in childhood, you have this deep fear of abandonment. You feel very insecure within your relationship. You always feel like they're gonna leave, they're gonna abandon you, they're gonna cheat on you. You're always worried if your partner is going to leave. Almost every day, you're worried that they're going to leave, that they're going to abandon you. You're always hungry for validation and attention and love. You always want to be around them. You're needy and you're clingy. You call constantly, you text constantly. You're on social media stalking them, right? And when you message them or you call them and they don't respond fast enough, you panic and you worry and you think many things, right? And then you just constantly feel like your partner doesn't care about you. That's just how anxious attachment style looks. So if you're clingy and needy, you probably have anxious attachment style, right? So, ways to reduce clinginess and neediness. Well, focus on yourself, focus on your hobbies, focus on your goals, focus on your own life. You would have to build up your self-esteem, your self-worth. You have to love yourself. I have a video on self-love. You can look at that and see what is self-love, how it looks to love yourself. Build up your self-confidence. Know your worth. Know that you deserve love, you deserve attention, that you deserve healthy relationships. And next thing you could do, give your partner space. Give them space. If they ask for space, give them. Don't think that they don't love you, they're cheating on you, they don't like you anymore. Give them their space. Next thing you could do, try not to be too physically clingy. Try not to be too involved in their life. You could also stop being so worried about if your partner is cheating. Stop being so worried about what they're doing. Stop being jealous. Stop snooping on social media, worried if they're cheating on you. And if you're in a relationship and you trust each other, you could talk about your attachment style. Learn to cope with anxiety. Live a healthy lifestyle. How you cope with anxiety? You live a healthy lifestyle. You get enough rest, you eat healthy, you exercise. You don't drink and you don't smoke and use alcohol and drugs often. That's how you could manage anxiety. Learn how to be alone. Learn about anxious attachment style. Just learning and understanding what is an anxious attachment style could help you to reduce clinginess and neediness. Respect your partner boundaries. Don't rely on your partner for everything. And try to develop trust in the relationship. You probably have trust issues. Work on your trust issues. So those are a few things you could do to reduce clinginess and neediness, right? So this video was not to bash mothers, was not to talk bad about mothers, was not to create feelings of hate towards your mother, right? I never said your mother was a bad person, right? So I hope this video was informative to you. I hope it helps you, and I hope you work on yourself, on your clinginess and neediness, and see you in the next video.